In this episode, we are going to talk about the difference between a good watch, a
Great watch,
and a...
Grail watch.
Don't go anywhere.
We're also going to talk about George Clooney.
True, and donkeys. Put a donkey noise over this.
Pretty little thing, let me light your count, cause mama, I'm sure hard to hell and I yes around.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's only a matter of time until we address the topic of the good watches, the great watches, and the Grail watches. Ding, ding, ding.
It's the first time that he says it within 25 seconds.
And I'm out.
What a crazy energy. Love it.
I'm here with Krisitian and Ellie, my two delightful co-hosts. This podcast is not, however, about friendliness and furious agreement. This is a podcast where we each come at watches from our different perspectives. How are we, team? How are you feeling today, Ellie?
I'm feeling great, but having all these tiny things in my hands, I'm just going to keep playing like a kid with Lego.
It was a mistake.
It's crazy,
This
right?
is a mistake. We've got to put it.
Like,
I know.
it's crazy. I've been doing like this.
So the backstory is Marcus dressed the set for us beautifully, but he made a terrible mistake because he put all these very fidgetable things around.
Yeah.
In the last
You're making
episode,
so much noise.
it was just whirring away. Krisitian, how are you feeling today?
Well, I just flew in. Again, this fourth time in London doing these recordings. This is a lot of fun. I have to say, I used to live in London many moons ago.
Yeah.
And I remember it's grey and people like walking around like this. And the thing is, it rained so much that you couldn't tell people were crying. That's how I remember London, okay? Now, fourth time here doing this podcast, sun is out.
What just happened on that lawn out there?
Chiswick, wow, amazing. This park, the little church. I saw a British person smile.
Did you?
Oh,
That must have been a mistake.
it's still my heart. What a wonderful experience that was.
So we congregate here in London to talk about things that are inevitable, that as in it's just a matter of time until we talk about these subjects, because when you get into watches, there are certain things that just have to, they come up. And I think we've tracked the journey of these episodes by things that have happened to us. And I want to take you both back in a time machine. Do you remember those days when you started to get into watches and you think, well, this watch is good, but like, what makes a great watch? Like, I have a watch, I think it's pretty good. I'm in the game, I've started. What makes a great watch? And then I wonder, that Grail that I'm imagining, what does that have that makes it even better than great? So we had a bit of a purge, didn't we? I put out the message on the WhatsApp, guys, bring watches, bring a lot of watches, and let's see if we can lay them out. And then we will go through the process of holding them and telling people what's going through our minds. Because how many watches do you reckon you've held in the last 3 years in your hands? I want to ask you both that.
Hundreds, if not close to 1,000.
Thousands.
Probably not thousands, but at least a good 1,000. In 3 years, a good 1,000 watches.
Okay.
And thousands of pieces of jewelry.
That's where you really bring the game. You got the jewelry down. I've handled no jewelry. Yeah. But I reckon I'd be well into the thousands, Krisitian. I don't know about you.
No, not that many. I don't think so.
You're more selective.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. No, I used to work in the auction business for about 10 years. And back then I thought, I would probably say, I saw 10,000 watches, right? I mean, I probably didn't. Mm-hmm. But in my head, I did. Mind you, I was very drunk in the 10 years. So probably could a million.
Okay, it's interesting because it's also a very subjective definition of what is good to you, what is great, and what is Grail. Yeah. So when somebody who doesn't really know anything about watches will think, okay, I don't have a legitimacy to say what's good in the watch because I know nothing about movement, I know nothing about mechanism. Rest assured, the majority of us don't either. But the good thing, and I think it's safe to say that design has become the number one thing to look at.
And that's why I actually disagree with one of our already what we've got laid out. I'm thinking we need to readjust. Before we get into the meat of the show, boom, let's go with what we're wearing on our wrist today. I'm starting off. Christian, I'm wearing a navy blue shirt and blue denim 501 Levi's. And I just had to pinch this Laurent Ferrier because it is one of the most denim appropriate watches on the planet. Tell me about your watch and tell me how you'll feel when I steal it from you.
It's painful. No, this is you kissing my girl.
And I'm enjoying it, man. I'm not even sorry. I mean, I should be feeling guilty about kissing his girl, but I want to take it further.
Sport Auto is just a gorgeous
piece.
But it's not only gorgeous. Titanium is 41.5 millimeters. It has a movement to die for. This was a dream watch for me ever since I laid my eyes on it. Mind you, the company behind is only, I think it was established in 2010. And the output is around 500 pieces a year, 500 watches.
Ellie, what's on? Ooh, damn.
Hello, Benoit.
It's a little Cartier, the small model of the Benoit, which, again, there's nothing new in the Benoit, but when they launched it in a bangle, so as just a bracelet, and it just opens up on the sides, it's just, yes, it's more a piece of jewelry than a watch, because yes, it's quartz, it's tiny, but it really like stepped up the game of the Benoit. And I think it put back this original and iconic model into the mind of every person as like a collectible item. And I know, for example, in Asia, a lot of men wanted to wear it on the side like a bracelet. So it's like as a second watch. And because they've got such a high demand on like men's demand, they had to create larger sizes because this watch only comes in a 15, 16, and 17 centimeters. This one is a 17, so I have a pretty big wrist. But men who are 18, 19, 20, it doesn't fit. So now they've started making larger sizes. And they've created a larger one, which is not as proportionate, I think.
Interesting. It loses its form.
Yeah, but I do love it. And I have to admit, which is why it's a bit scratched, is I do stack it with bracelets.
Which
is something against
you speak out
the
against this?
Exactly. It is very
Your
true.
dad told you.
Yeah.
Which is why my watch is completely scratched. So I cannot complain about it because it's entirely my fault.
But can I just say, like, we talk a lot about, like, it's a very male-centric world, watches. I mean, it's a shocking statement. It is truly...
I wouldn't say that.
Newsflash. No, but
Spoiler alert.
Men talk a lot about, and they think, does this make me attracted to women? When I see that on you, I just think, God, thank God no other woman I was dating wore that, because it so amplifies the feminine form. I just think this is a sexy watch. I love this watch, Christian.
See, I wasn't listening because you were just polishing your watch. And I thought, Eleonor, this watch just makes you a really attractive man. I was like, didn't that come out wrong?
Okay.
Anyway.
Welcome back to the conversation. I'm really glad you find me interesting. What are you wearing today? Okay.
That's the Night Surfer. Come on, Zenith. Look at this.
That is a blue.
Talking about blue, this is a gorgeous piece. But I'm not here to talk about this one because, Andrew, you're almost the maker of the Night Surfer.
Yeah, the two blues here. Yeah, look, this is Marcus's watch. Marcus is one of the Time+Tide team, and I think most of the Time+Tide team ended up buying this watch because it was a special moment for us. It was the first time, I suppose, that we thought the Night Surfer 1 as a concept, micro bead blasted titanium with a gradient blue was cool, and then to see that expand out into a second model was pretty cool. And I find this is like, someone called this the Tron watch because the bridges light up at night.
Yeah.
And it has
the Tron.
Yeah. Like you can imagine a little motorbike flying around on that. So I'm very proud of this. And I love to see it on your wrist. And it's on Christian.
Look how beautiful the watch fan is.
Oh, isn't that
Hashtag.
Let's get on with the show. The good, the bad, and no, the good, the great, and the grail of watches. Now, really, let's get back to that moment. And I want you to both come with me here.
Okay.
You don't really know much. You're early on and you're holding a watch and everyone's like, oh, wow, look at that. Look at all these things. And what this episode is designed to do is help you identify the things that separate the good from the great and the great from the grail.
Okay.
So I found it hard to choose a good because I think there's a specific type of good that I wanted to encapsulate here, which is attainable price-wise, a good value proposition, so that we're not just talking about I didn't want to just pull a big box brand, low priced watch and say this is good, and then a high priced one is great, and then I don't know. It was very specific assignment. I chose the Christopher Ward Desk Diver, which is a watch that was done in collaboration with Second. And to me, thank you. Do you want to? You can polish me while I talk. So, oh my God, so
you can polish me while I talk. Really, guys?
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, that's a lawsuit. That's definitely. No, this to me is the epitome of a good watch. Christian, do you want to? Can I just throw it to you and say, why do you think I would? What makes this What are the things you do when you first pick up a watch to assess?
No, I think this one. First of all, we need a little break from Second. I think.
Okay.
I think there's too many collabs going on right now.
Agreed.
That being said, he is probably the most creative guy in the watch industry these years. He's probably one of the best things that has happened to the watch industry the most recent years. Yeah. Secondly,
the Furlan Mary second is to die for.
It is the Hertz beat.
No, but the thing is, calling a diver's watch a desk diver, I think, is just
smart,
brilliant.
Yeah, and then having it on a post-it note on the dial.
This is fun. This is the conversation piece, I think. This is the guy that comes in a nice suit and, he takes off the jacket. It turns out the inliner inside his jacket is Playboy pictures, right? I mean, it's just that, hey, that's a fun detail, right?
Yeah.
Because from a distance, it looks like a diver's watch with a heavy bracelet.
Yeah.
So the little details that Second adds to the watch, which without his detailing and the name would probably just be another diver that would never see much water besides the dishes in the evening.
Yes. To me, I've got this in my hand, brand new, sitting there. I go, okay, I'm looking at this going, all right, brush finishing on the bracelet, no polishing. There's not too finishing. So that's just easily, that's a sort of a low cost and easy to achieve thing. This is 316L steel as far as I know. That's a great quality of steel for like an entry level watch.
Okay.
I'm looking at this, we've got a closed case back, so we don't have an open case back, therefore we're not seeing the movement. That's fine for a good watch level. We're seeing a box crystal here, that's sapphire glass. That's a nice touch again. We have an applied logo. So all of these things, I'm just thinking this equates to the attributes of a good watch. I'm happy with this.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. What's the price of this one?
This is just, I think it was £1,200 or thereabouts.
Okay.
Yeah, so again, good price, good watch. A lot of elements that I think you're going to be satisfied with. The case is well made. It's well designed. It's not a block slab-sided case. Like you actually got some really thoughtful like sculpting of the case. No, I think I'm just trying to articulate in as short a time as possible, just in what goes through my head in a microsecond is, okay, cool. I'm like good, this is a good watch. But yeah, this is my choice. But Ellie, you've chosen something different. Why did you choose the Benoit as your good watch?
No, I mean, I chose the Benoit as my good watch here in the selection that we have. But as I said earlier, the Benoit, what's good about it is iconic design, quartz, so very precise. I don't have to worry about winding it up. I don't have to worry about anything. It's more of a bracelet. So on a feminine standpoint, it kind of changes the whole like mechanical, is it a watch, is it not a watch? I kind of close the debate right off. But good watches, I can name so many. I can name a regulator from Louis Vuitton. I can name a big crown from Oris. I can name a Tudor Black Bay. I can name all these great watches, but all these good watches that are reliable, that are good looking, that are easy to wear, that you can wear on a daily basis, whether you're traveling, you're working out, you're going to the office, or you have a business meeting. It's the kind of watch that becomes a second skin where you don't have to think about it so much.
Sure.
In a sense that not even on a crime standpoint, like riding a bike in London, you're still safe wearing that watch, being outside with a t-shirt because it's sunny days out there.
Yeah.
And those are all the elements that I think make a good watch good.
Good.
Now, a great watch is another thing, but we'll get into this in a minute. Before, I want to hear what Christian has to say and what a good watch is to you.
Well, I just pulled this out of my pocket, so it's a little warm. It's a little warm. So this is the Zodiac Super Seawolf, which is a very funky name. It sounds like a 1960s band, right? What strikes me on this one, it does almost the same as a Rolex Submariner, but it's brighter, it's more fun, it's a great size. I love the tropical orange rubber strap. This is a very super pleasant watch to wear. Also, I think, look at Eleonor right now, I think any gender could wear this watch. And I think any gender can wear this watch, makes it, well, one of the criteria of being a good watch.
But what makes it good, not great? What immediately puts that in the good but not great category?
Well, in these colors, it's not great enough to wear every day. This is a good summer's watch. We go to the beach. You ask your wife, did you bring the watch? And the next day she goes, did you bring the watch? So this is something very shareable. I think having a great relationship relates on a good watch.
Okay.
You know what? I had never heard of the Zodiac brand.
Zodiac is an interesting brand. Yeah. It's been bought by Fossil, been brought back to life.
Yeah.
Look, I think what you're not saying, and maybe you're being kind, is this is the bezel action of a good, not a great watch. It's very tight, very ticky. It's very light. It's
But that's because you're a pro and your watch thing.
But that's what people want to know from us.
Yeah.
We're pros.
Yes?
I'm not quite sure about that. I mean, it still has, it's a little bit too tight.
Yeah.
When you look at this watch, which does not make it great.
No, but also I think a good watch is, we were talking about being subjective. A good watch, there's a lot of good watches out there, but I may think this watch is good and you will like cut me in the middle saying, no, you're wrong. A great watch, you've got a smaller margin of negotiation because you're already stepping up the game where it's a great watch. You can not like it, but it's a great watch. Versus a good watch, if you think it's not a good watch, then it's not a good watch. And you're just stepping, and a Grail watch, it's another thing because we're reaching another level. So I think it's just like stepping up the game of...
But I'm trying to actually pinpoint the things that separate this from great. And it is things like, it is bezel action, it is crown feel. Like these are the things we do. We look at it and say, okay, so there's a ceramic case, but there's a titanium or steel case back. And again, there's things that immediately to a watch pro, I think there are things about this that clearly make it good, not great.
Yeah, but that's the details.
And that's what matters.
I think, if you want to do ceramic, do ceramic. Don't hide it over steel.
There you go.
Have a better bezel.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Good.
So
that's what makes it good, not great.
It's also a fun watch, right? And I think with these colors,
priced at fun too.
It's a his and hers. It's the summer holidays. It's Saint-Tropez. We're just having a
What do you
bit
think?
of
Would you
fun.
wear this?
I wouldn't, because I think there's too many things. Like the double index, it's pretty thick. I don't like the rectangular square hands, but it's a detail that's not to my taste, which doesn't mean that the watch is well made, proportionate, actually comfortable on the wrist. There's a lot of good things about it. It's just not a watch for me.
And that's where I think this episode's going in a lot of directions, because good, great, and Grail are totally subjective. However, I'm trying to find the things that are qualitative about these markers that we can share so that all of our years of holding watches can be imparted through a 45-minute podcast episode. Very ambitious, but that is definitely the point, because someone might say, I think that's great. I love orange. And it's like, oh. Well,
Andrew Luff would love it. He would only...
Dutch people and Mr. Orange Collector would love this one.
And also it's Sharpie. So if I wear a very thin cashmere sweater, it's not going to do.
Yeah, again, and that's down to qualitative as well. It's a very serrated edge. So look, I think we have actually managed to tease out some of the quality details.
Oh, that's very sharp.
Yeah.
So if I wear tights on a date with stilettos, I'm going to ruin them.
That would look great though with tights and stilettos.
Just don't do that.
Orange tights and
Just
orange.
wear denim.
Stay, yeah, denim or stay at home and watch Netflix.
Stay naked. You won't have that problem.
True that. It'll leave marks.
We the banter's
And back to
definitely
PJ-13.
the banter's gone to great. So we graduate now. We graduate from Christopher Ward and Zodiac and Cartier. See, I would say sometimes design can take a basic.
I still think this one is great, but it's very
great. I
subjective.
think that's great. I want to put that at least in great. I could potentially put that in.
Did I
But I like
see
it's
this
great,
in Tyler
but
the
you have
Creator?
no movement. You don't. It's not even a crystal. It's not even a sapphire.
But as you said in your wonderful opener, which I think kind of nailed it, design is now an attribute that can transcend everything. Look at a crash. Who cares what the movement is in a crash? Does anyone ever ask? So things can design their designation. But I'm trying to keep this horse. I'm trying to stay on this horse of a concept. So now let's move.
Great watches.
Great. Now we've gone
Great
from good
watches.
to great. Now, look, I will pick up this and talk about this because I suspect this one might move from great to Grail because you guys have
It
been.
will become an icon. 100%.
I think it's quite possible. This is the Octo Finissimo.
Yeah.
Now, what makes this a great watch immediately is the bracelet. This is a fantastic integrated
weight.
bracelet. It's the, well, to me, I think it's the tolerances. Look how even those tolerances are from link to link. It feels really, you'll see watch geeks doing this with the bracelet, which is them assessing whether the integrated bracelet has some flex in it. Like you're trying to, this is a test that Davide Serrato does with all his watches. He puts the, nothing changes. Nothing changes. He puts the links over his finger to see if they articulate over the finger. We're seeing, I think the dial is quite dull. There's not really much happening on this dial in terms of the hands and the indices. I think, are they painted? They're painted. So that's not spectacular, but case is really, really sculpted and beautiful. And then bang, we go over to so many great little touches that watch geeks love. We love a free sprung balance. We love a micro rotor, and we love Eleonor Picciotto adding to what I'm saying because she put this in great. So you explain yourself. Is it the Côte de Genève? What does it make this great?
What makes it great, first of all, the Octo Finissimo to this day has 10 world records.
10 as of today.
And
Boom.
what is great about this watch, and it's becoming a Grail watch, I'm pretty positive, but it's too early to say because it's another debate, or how does a watch become an icon? It's not in 10 years that you cannot decide that a watch becomes an icon.
Mm-hmm.
Time will tell. That being said, what's fantastic and what's great about the entire Octo Finissimo line is the thinness, the wearability, and the lightness of the watch. Yes, there are great light watches on the market. They're made of carbon, titanium. You've got all those fantastic Piaget, AUC, like all those wonderful, super thin, ultra light. But this one, to some extent, is just
Look at you, Eleonor. This
compared.
is just a sexy
You just-
beat.
like you flip, like
Wow.
you wear a shirt like tight. It falls underneath. You don't even feel it. But then you actually do have a substantial, with a very strong design, with a genuine story to tell, with real watchmaking. Obviously, hands down, and another bravo to Fabrizio Buonamassa. But when you look at this watch, and again, I'm quoting my dad because he's a great inspiration, but it's true that when he's got a lot of clients, and he's told me that story many times, where clients come in to try on X, Y, Z, and then at some point it's like, dude, you've got to try an Octo Finissimo. Yeah, Bulgari, they're not watchmakers. I really want a man watch. Try it on, and we'll talk about it. The majority of them end up walking past the store with the watch on their wrist because they just cannot take it off. That's light. That's how comfortable it is. And people will argue that it's a square watch, so it's not round, but it's not a cushion. It's got edges, and it's, again, put it on, and we'll talk later.
Hi,
Go and
Eleanor.
try it on.
It's Bulgari. Can you come work for us?
I mean, I'm feeling the passion there.
I'm feeling so much love.
No, but you know what? Just go to a store and just ask.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't cost anything. Go to a store and ask to try an Octo Finissimo, and you'll get the feeling. You don't need to buy the watch. You probably won't have the money to do so, but just do it, and you'll understand the feeling of what it's like to wear an ultra thin, but sporty watch at the same time that is not fragile. Because all those like concept, ultra thin,
you're right.
ultralight watches,
Yeah.
you need to be super careful about them.
Yeah.
This, you don't have to really care about.
Yeah.
I mean, you just upped the game of the Octo Finissimo, and I think it's beyond great,
Don't you think like daughter, like dad?
beyond iconic. I think the illustriousness of this timepiece. Look at you sitting like this.
Yeah.
Where's my Leica? I need a picture of this. Look at
Because
that.
I think while you do,
Then it works great.
Oh,
Thanks, Marcus.
I think the Finissimo is an example of thinness as a complication. Because you would almost say this is, the complexity that required to make a watch that is as slim as this and made even more slim by this beautifully sculpted case. That is the complication that you see in great watches.
This is architecture. Listen, you're getting married in about 2 months. Can I marry your watch then?
What are you
I'm
going to get
totally
married in?
falling
Have you
in love.
decided on your wedding watch?
Yes. Turns out it's probably going to be a Bulgari.
No way.
But it's going to be a serpentine white ceramic.
Oh, yes.
Really?
The
Rose
two-tone?
gold.
The two-tone with... That is a beautiful watch. I nearly went like...
I could totally wear that.
It's been discontinued.
care.
You'll find it.
No,
You'll
but
find
I
it.
have one. What I'm saying is
Oh, you already have it?
I have one.
Oh, congrats.
But the white ceramic, strangely enough, I wear it more in the winter than in the summer, probably because of the snow. But the white ceramic with rose gold inserts, it just works out super well.
Your collection's pretty bold, to be fair.
But again, my collection, I'm not going to make any money if I sell it.
But that's not what it's for.
Can I just say before we have a small jingle, this episode is not sponsored by Bulgari.
Thank you. By the way, a black ceramic and rose gold serpenti. Have you seen this?
Chocolate ceramic. I bet you've never seen that one.
I haven't.
Chocolate brown.
With
And rose gold.
Oh, God. See, I can
This
see
one
that for you.
is to die
I mean,
Yeah.
my head is spinning on Bulgari right now.
Yeah.
It's sick.
You know, Justin Hast, a good local pal who kicks around, has also just fallen under the Finissimo spell. He bought one on leather. So look, the Finissimo,
Which is good.
it's clearly
like the nylon.
unanimously in the great category. And we won't argue about whether it's in Grail today because we'll get there. But I think we can actually really, if you hold them, and here's another great one just to put them side by side. So let's just look. When we say applied indexes or numerals, it isn't the same. They applied indices ain't applied indices in this case.
Different fruits you holding.
There's two very different fruits, and that's what this episode's about. This is you can see the contrasting finishings. Where's my cloth? You can see the contrasting finishings on this case and bezel. Look at that, like that mirror polished bezel. That is looking really good. Is that like a ceramic insert in there? What is that? A black ceramic? I can't see.
Black lacquer.
Black lacquer.
This is handmade. See, a few moons ago, people saying, "Oh, they discontinued the Santos-Dumont with the lacquer." See, it's not only in the bezel; it's also on the shoulders, on the top of the middle case.
I thought that was just
But
reflecting.
because it's glossy,
Yes.
it looks stylish because you don't see the black. So this Santos-Dumont is full of surprises. I love this watch.
So do
I really do. And the funny thing is, I had strong doubts when I bought it. And it took me a while, before we honeymooned a few days together, right? But when I'm wearing this, I feel like an elegant punter.
Yeah.
This is
anything, Christian.
no, but this is the story go back to 1904, with the crazy Albert Santos-Dumont that was flying around the skies of Paris, the first wristwatch from a gentleman, blah, 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 blah. And it's still here.
Yeah. So
I mean, the refinement of the Santos-Dumont from 1904 until now, and it's still a slim, wonderful watch that sits on the wrist like, that makes it so great.
Yeah. So there's no question this is great. We're seeing a bit of sapphire play there on the glass box of the ward. You're seeing the way we're able to bend the light there with the edge of the glass box.
But
then
also there's a distortion.
Yes, and that's something we love, right? But then as I've been doing this, I've noticed that the sapphire on this is is actually shaped, curved. See the way it's playing with the light there?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's just this is what you get from a great watch. And then of course, as you just beautifully pointed out, there's a lacquer to the bezel and to the actual case, which continues around the lugs.
Yeah.
Now, look, this is a closed case back. Does that sort of reduce its great status? Not at all. This is
very
again
slim watch. It has a piercer inside.
so not all great watches have clear case backs, and that is not a criteria. That is an easy sort of signifier. Like there are a lot of bad watches that have open case back showing bad debauch movements, but I think that's a really good illustration of good to great. It's time to go to Grail.
The Holy Grail.
Can I wear this one now?
I
Yes,
remember one
ma'am.
of the first
Yes, ma'am.
auction room I've been to, and I kept hearing, "This is the Holy Grail complication. This is the Holy Grail complication." I was like, "What are they talking about?" And it was the Henry Grave complication, which I had no idea what they were talking about.
Yeah.
That's when I learned that, like, the epitome of like the Holy Grail complication was the Henry Graves complication.
Mm-hmm. That was, and look, this has now become shorthand for Grail, just meaning the.
I like how he's polishing the watch and the hand at the
Hello,
same
welcome
time.
to the episode where we polish the watches all the time.
It's our commitment to you to make them look better. But Grail watches are the god tier of watches, or the end of the road watches. We have three very acceptable Grail options here. We have a Nautilus 3400. Did you say? What is this? A 5711? What is the?
That's the first jumbo. This is actually from 1976. So it's the
Birth
Ref
year.
3700.
3700. Yeah.
Can we see it? It's just mind-blowingly cool. And I saw this again in National Geographic back in the very early 70s. This one is a 1976 version of this incredible Gio Genta designed integrated sports watch from one of the greatest, with the Cecil Culture inside. Mind you, it's not completely the OG, because I had the bracelet changed to a modern style simply because this had been loved and worn by the former owner. So, you know,
Just a little bit too much.
The bracelet, you know, it had seen a lot of love.
Yeah.
Because I wear my watches, I had a new bracelet installed by Patek Philippe because I, you know, didn't want to dare to drop it. That was a risk because the screws were actually coming out of the bracelet. But this one I purchased in 2016, just after we bought the house. I didn't have the money, but again, you cannot say no to a Grail watch.
What makes it a Grail? Why isn't this a great watch?
It's beyond great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is probably what many people have dreamed about since they were kids, since they saw it, since they realized, you know, there's luxury watches, then there's luxury sports watches from one of the greatest maisons we know in the industry, Patek Philippe. Also, it's designed by a gentleman with a great moustache, who turns out to have designed way more watches than we knew back in the 70s and 80s, right? He's like the new rock star. He's the Mick Jagger of the watch industry, Mr. Gio Genta.
But I've never liked the Nautilus.
Until now?
Still to this day.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it because someone once said to you that it has elephant ears?
Elephant ears.
This
No.
one, not
I
so
have
much.
elephant ears.
I wouldn't call this a Dumbo. Jumbo? Yes. Dumbo?
No, because I like the Aquanaut, actually.
Okay.
But the Nautilus, I never liked that watch. And I cannot really explain why.
What if you had a tiny lady, like AP came up with the tiny
So,
Royal Oak, which is a cool
Truth
watch.
being told,
Uh-huh.
my grandmother
Uh-huh.
wore for a very, very long time until she stopped. She wore the one that Hailey Bieber's wearing,
Okay.
the tiny Nautilus, dual tone, so yellow, gold, and steel, quartz, tiny baby version that I've started wearing. My parents gave it to me for my 35th birthday. And I love this watch because it's sentimental and it's so close to my grandmother that I feel that I'm wearing something of her.
Wearing this one.
You've seen, yeah. But the big one with the blue dial that everybody's been talking about, everybody has been wanting, is like, oh, my dream is to have a Patek Philippe. Let me guess, you won the, which reference again? 5711? Yeah, how do you know? Like, stating the obvious.
No,
I've never
but
liked
listen,
this
You
comment.
need to come
the
up with some reasons.
5711 is a douchebag watch. The 3700 is not.
But that's because you know the difference. You put somebody who doesn't know anything about watches, you put the 2 and 2 next to one another, they don't see the difference. And yet I love the Royal Oak steel with the blue dial. Like, I love this watch. But the same version with Patek Philippe, never really liked it.
Listen, I can see you wear that two-tone, tiny Nautilus in a fur coat with the same makeup as Gwyneth Paltrow in the Royal Tenenbaums. That watch would go perfect with that role.
It's a deep cut, man.
I think that watch must come with a fur coat.
Yeah. This
Okay.
this is a Grail watch for the reasons that Christian stated, as in designed by a legend, one of the most desirable integrated steel sports watches. It's certainly in the top 3 of all time. So these things are incontestable. However, as you say, design is subjective. And I wanted it very badly because it's a birth year watch for me. I'm from 1976 as well, not aging quite as well as this guy. But I did want this for a very long time until it's one of those watches that someone said, yeah, but it's got elephant ears. And then that just...
You stuck with it.
It just stuck with it. And ever since hearing that, it's like when someone called the crown on a tank a nipple. I've talked about this a lot. As soon as you
I've never
see
heard that.
the nipple crown, you can't unsee it.
Cabochon.
No, it's a nipple on a tank.
Yeah, very pointy when you've got fake tits.
Exactly. Yep. That ruined the tank for me for years. I have got over it. So some therapy, expensive therapy, and now I'm as you know, we spoke about the tank together. I didn't mention the nipple even once. So this unfortunately is a victim
They
of
would
that.
have got it anyways.
Absolutely no question that is a Grail watch. And of course we get to the finishing, we get to the dial. This is a beautiful sunray effect dial on this garage door. Like, what would you call it? Corrugated dial. It's really cool. No secondhand and a closed case back, but it's a Grail. So you can't sweat the technique.
I hear you, and thank you very much.
Okay, next.
And you know what? Okay, so that one is interesting because, well, we're giving it away with the buckle, but same era, same brand,
Yep.
and yet underrated.
I think it's overrated now.
Now, yes, but I remember when they did the re-edition for the 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
It was one of the first watches and wonders, and everybody went crazy. And then I had to write an article about it, and I remember it's like, my God, this is such an elegant watch. And I started looking, and I was seeing that online, those like 1974, 72, the original with original bracelet, yellow gold, blue dial, was not very expensive. A few years ago, you can find it for 6,000, 7,000. Again, not very expensive for when you hear what Patek and Grail watches are, et cetera, et cetera. You wouldn't even see them at auctions as like the ultimate Patek you would get. Ever since I've been reading, writing, trying on this watch, to me to this day is probably the most elegant wristwatch of all times, across all brands. And each time I see somebody wearing it, or each time I wear it occasionally, people are like, my God, this is such an elegant watch.
Sunrays.
And I'm like, yeah, but you can easily find it. And it's like, oh, but is it like that very expensive? It's like, well, now I think you could find it at 6. I think now you find it as like 10, 12. But still, for a Grail watch, for a highly collectible watch, is just, and it's a small, I think it comes in a larger diameter, but I think this one is just so elegant. It just speaks for itself. And it has a manual winding, which is a mechanical watch, and again, you need to wind it, and the crown is like screwed on, so it's like very thin, so you need to be very delicate about it. But it's just such a great watch.
How's Ellie's collection? So far, we've seen
pretty
a
rock
Journe
solid.
Elegante, a Patek Ellipse, a Cartier Benoit. Like, it's just icon central.
This was my late dad's favorite watch ever.
Really?
And I bought one for him before he died. Because I thought, when he gets better, I'm going to present him with this watch. So I still have it laying around. I try to put it on my wrist once in a while, and I dwell on the elegance. On a male's wrist, it's a bit tiny. Now, of course, you can wear anything. I could probably wear the Venoir and be cool with that and be like Tyler, the Creator. But the golden ellipse, to me, has become more important than the Nautilus. So this is a couple of years, since 1968.
The very first one?
Yeah.
68 or 69, but I think they started the actual production in 72 or 4.
It's just a gorgeous piece. I think the modern ones are too big. I think the automatic version of this on an integrated bracelet in white gold, I would be content. I would have reached the goals of horology if I had that in my collection.
Turn the bracelet so that we're on the blue.
Oh, we have to turn the bracelet so it's blue. Oh, my Lord.
Damn, look at that sun ray.
Look at the dial working like that.
Does that change your association with it though? That connection to your late dad, does that make it a bit of an emotional thing?
I'm going to start crying in a bit. It's to me a super important piece. My dad loved this. That's it.
It was my grandfather's.
This one was.
Because the full story is when I had to write the paper on the anniversary of the Ellipse. I was like, can I see the watch? Like, it's sold out. Like, you saw it for 2.5 minutes during Watches and Wonders, but you're not going to see it again. And I called my dad. I was like, I really like this watch. Like, do you know any guy in Paris who sells one that I can go and see in the store? It's like, call your grandfather. He used to have one. So I'm calling my grandfather, who was like very meticulous. He had like papers everywhere. I was like, let me call you back.
He'll know.
3 days later, he calls me like, I found it. I know where it is. I've got the paper. I've got the box. I've got everything. Come and check it out. And so he gives me the watch. It's like, keep it until you write your paper so that you can look at it of all angles. I write the paper. I put the watch back in the box with the paper. I give it back to him. And then he calls me 3 days later and is like, I've been thinking about it. I haven't worn that watch in like 25 years. You should keep it. And that's how I got my grandfather's watch and my grandmother's watch incidentally. And now I've had like 10 years apart. I have my grandmother's watch and grandfather's watch. And 2 of them are Pateks.
So all of these,
So
like,
extremely emotional for me.
these wear marks and like this is your grandfather's.
This is the
sweat.
original bracelet.
This is your grandfather's DNA in this watch as well.
Yeah.
Man.
And I think he's the one who gave us the passion and the curiosity of watches to my dad, which transmitted to myself. I think it all started with him.
Talking about emotional values, huh?
Yeah.
I have a feeling that mechanical watches are definitely not an obsolete product. Because with the watches that pop out of our collections, they're full of stories, full of the emotional values, not the monetary, flipping your kids for watches or vice versa.
I would do such a thing.
Yeah, exactly. So this is what makes watches precious and valuable in emotions. How do you measure emotional value? We know it's a currency that's accepted in any corner of the world. Go to any auction and you will see 2 people fighting over one watch. It'll be the most expensive watch in the world because when they were kids, that was the dream watch, and now they can afford it. I want it no matter the price. But the emotional values connected to the family members makes this an amazing watch. Now, it just happens to be an Ellipse from Patek Philippe. And to me, one of the finest designs ever. I know you can find the golden Ellipse from Universal Genève as well. I know Tudor actually made the same Ellipse watch back in the day.
Rail just relaunched an Ellipse.
I like those.
It's a really good one.
Really good size. See, they got the size right. And I think Patek blew it.
And it wasn't their heritage. People are going to say, well, they just got inspired from Patek. It was an original
see
piece
what
of their
happened to the
heritage.
prices.
Exactly.
The secondary market with the Ellipse, all of a sudden it was a sexy watch.
Yeah.
But look, I think what this last little section has confirmed to me, though, is just honestly, hearing how meaningful they can be. It's a deep and emotional game, and there are some losers as well as some winners in this game. You've been a winner in both those stories. You've got your grandma's baby Nautilus, you got your grandpa's Ellipse, and they're both present and correct right now. So praise be. But it's an emotional game we play, and I think sometimes the Grail designation has a lot to do with our own feelings on
100%.
them, doesn't it? You know, it can be very much a personal thing. What about you in terms of your good, great, and Grail? What do you think of when you, what are the separations between the three? Does it come down to quality? Is it the way it makes you feel? Can a great watch be a really cheap and fun and inexpensive watch? Like, this is all up for grabs. This is just our thoughts today. It's been an emotional journey. So take a card, any card. This is the way we just chill after they always get meaty and heavy, the main parts of the show. And then we need something fun to finish with, some sort of energy. Let's lay 'em
Mine
out.
is easy.
Lay yours out. Go. What do you got? I don't know, Ellie, please. Ellie, lay it down. Okay, the question here. Ooh. The most famous person.
The most famous person I've connected over a watch is George Clooney.
Say again?
I've never heard of him.
Yeah, it's
George who?
Tell the story. I think I was there.
Until the end?
Yeah, I was in the aftermath.
I've done a pretty groupie move on that one. I'm not going to lie. We were at the Omega launch in Mykonos.
Correct.
And there were all these celebrities. And obviously in most parties like this, all the celebrities have their own celebrity corner. But we're all seated, so there's the cocktail and then dinner. And then usually the celebrities, 99% of the time, they leave before the end of dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sitting at the very end of the table. There was a bunch of like French journalists who didn't actually speak English. And there was this guy who spoke Italian and English. And I kind of mumbled in Italian and spoke in English. And the guy was actually pretty nice. And after a 2-hour conversation, I was like, wait a second, you're not a journalist. Like, who are you? And he's like, well, I'm George, European manager. I was like, okay, what does it mean? It's like, well, I'm kind of his bodyguard, but I'm also like handling his like personal matters. Like, oh, so if I want a selfie with George, I need to speak with you. So he starts laughing. He's like, if I do this, everybody here is going to want to do this. Obviously, all the people at the brand, which is normal, they kind of like, you cannot approach any celebrity. You cannot even start talking to them. You do not ever ask for a selfie. It's like the worst thing ever. But I'm like, it's George. And
I'm prepared to burn my
I
reputation.
must say, I'm probably more in love of his wife, Amal, than George. I could take both in a sandwich. But I knew that he lived in France. Give the story. And I'm like, okay, he's going to go to bed. And I'm working around with his bodyguard. I was like, really, like, I promise I'm not going to be a groupie. I'm not going to go like crazy. I'm going to be a normal, civilized person. Plus, he lives in France. He needs to meet a French person, especially if he needs a babysitter. So he looks at me and he's like, she's not going to let this go. No, I won't. It's like, you know what? We make a deal. When he's about to leave, I'll make you sign. You'll go on the side and I'll introduce him to you. Deal. But George doesn't want to leave. So the party is going, people are going to bed, I'm dead exhausted, and I'm here waiting for him to decide to leave. And he was one of the last one to leave. At some point I was like,
He stayed for the after party.
He stayed for a very long time.
Yeah.
And then at some point the bodyguard looks at me and is like, it's now. So I'm like walking my way around. Obviously he gets stopped by a few people who's like, George's leaving, I need to find a way. And I'm like, what am I going to say to him? The words that come out of my mouth when he finally makes the introduction is like, George, let me introduce you to Eleonor. It's like, hi, my name is George. It's like, I know you. I know everything about you. You don't need to introduce yourself. It's like, well, I'm French. You live in France. You needed to meet a French girl. It's like, oh, is that right? Well, you know, I live in Brignoles and I've got 2 donkeys. And I'm like, aren't they like really loud? Don't they wake you up in the morning? And he's like, no, they're actually pretty good. And we live by a lake. And I'm like, I'm actually talking about donkeys to George Clooney. And he's like, Well, I've got to go. It was really nice meeting you. To this day, I do
felt
have
it, Eleanor.
George
I felt
on
that.
my background.
That's fine.
Oh my God, it's not the same. The last time I was worried my addiction had gone too far it is right now. It's right now. It's today. Because I've been offered a watch that is so over my budget, but so good. And it's...
Is that so?
It's something that you might know about.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just in a world of pain because I'm now thinking of what child... No.
Is Brad Pitt involved in that story? Because I kind of have a feeling that after George, there's Brad linked to that watch.
Nothing to do with Brad. No, but it's a connection between you and I, and I'll just let that linger. So I am thinking that I will do something very bad to get this watch, and it's going to involve that horrible word leverage, over-leveraged. I'm going to be over-leveraged, but I might have this watch. That's it. Christian?
Good on you. The watch I'd wear if I was cast in a Hollywood movie next to a star would be, well, Mr. Paul Newman, what a fun movie we're going to do today, isn't it? Why are you wearing that old watch? You know, I have a newer Daytona. If you give me your old Daytona, you can have a newer Daytona. So I'd be like that.
By Patrizzi.
You know what that is?
Yeah.
That is Steve Martin in The Jerk. He becomes super wealthy on this little clip on your spectacles so they don't come down on your nose. He becomes super wealthy. So he's sitting in this restaurant, fine, super 15-star restaurant. And his wife comes in and, you know, he's having dinner on his own. She comes in, she goes like, you know, I'm pregnant. And he's like, oh, it's good news. So he calls over the sommelier and he goes, oh, we need to celebrate. Give me the newest wine you have. No more of this old wine. Give me the freshest wine you have. And I think that would be my moment with Mr. Paul Newman. Go like, stop that old Daytona thing. Have a new one. Let's trade.
No, to get his watch, don't you have to date his daughter? That's how it happened.
I'll even date him.
Yeah, okay. So you would wear your Daytona with Paul Newman in some sort of fantasy scenario where you're going back in time to be
probably something with fast cars, right?
Good answer. Yeah.
Congratulations. That was great.
Hey, thank you for joining us on this. Look, you just never know where these shows are going to go. I was going to say on this journey, but you know, from good to great to Grail to done. We're finished today, guys.
Good, great, Grail.
Boom, and we're out. Thanks for watching. Tell us in the comments your thoughts on Good, Great and Grail. What are the things that separate the three? And we look forward to seeing you around this table again. Join us for the next episode of... Anyone?
Matter of Time.
Pretty little thing living like you count, cause mama, I'm sure hard to hell and I, yes, around.